Hello everybody, Shadefyre here, and we are back in the spooky Resident Evil 7 demo mansion, because we're going to try to get the true, proper, full ending, the one that gives you an item that can be used in the final game, the dirty coin. So I have my little guide here of convoluted steps, which may or may not help us, but we're going to try to get through this. Unfortunately, that does mean that we're going to have to not get hit by the monster, but at least I know how that whole situation works now. But yeah, we're going to try to do the stuff with the dummy hand and get the ghost giggles or whatever. Really hope none of that stuff is in the final game, because I think, as ridiculous as Resident Evil is, I think supernatural ghost beings kind of ruins the thing. Like, yeah, I'll take my dumb monsters with viruses that basically make them magic, but ghosts, not in my Resident Evil. Alright, so we got this. We need to go up to the attic. First we need to grab the dummy finger. Well, we'll grab the notebook as well, because we need that. And this blank notebook will fill out as we successfully point out the murder spots. Important step to not forget here is that you need to read the message that starts this, otherwise it won't work. Which is something I forgot to write down and led to some frustration about 5 minutes ago when I tried to do this. Okay, so we want to get the basement key, which is here. And we want to get the thing that I didn't even notice when we were up here before, but there's a object made of celluloid here, which is a squishy celluloid hand. And we combine the dummy finger with the that. And I guess we have to, like, point this at things from this examination screen. Which, I mean, I guess that's kind of a neat use of the old Resident Evil examine screen, that's kind of been around since Resident Evil Remake. Well, I mean, the examine thing has always been around, but I think it was only Remake that had the full 3D models. I could be mistaken there. So we need to do that. We also need to read this. This is the thing that starts it. And I guess if we do things right, we'll hear more of those giggles. Okay, so we've got the attic key thing, we've got the other thing. Thankfully, the part we need to do when we go into the monster's basement is actually just after the first step in this, so we don't have to do too much if I fuck up and get hit, which I probably will 4 or 5 times. But apparently, this is the first spot we need to use the dummy hand. And now, was that successful, or do I have to actually... Well, I mean, let's see if the notebook filled out at all. Okay, so there's our first murder. A bookshelf fell on somebody, maybe? I don't know. Alright, so now we want to go to the basement and try to get the items without taking damage. So this is really going to be the toughest part, because once we get past there, we don't have to deal with that guy again, and we can hopefully just breeze through this. Also, there's another item that I didn't get before. There's that drawer in the kitchen, and you can use this lockpick to open it. Okay. So we're going to go for the valve, and I guess we're going to back off and then kind of... Okay, so he does that. And then his monster buddy shows up. And then do that. Come on. There's a definite delay before it lets you kick a second time. Okay, so we do that, and that allows us to get the handgun. But I think it's actually easier if I don't try to shoot the monster and just sprint in there and grab the key. But we're going to get the handgun anyway, because you do need it for one of these ghosts, apparently. Somebody mentioned that I can shoot the monster in the legs to get him to fall. And I guess that's the only real use for this handgun against him. Because I'm going to guess that no matter how many bullets I find, because I guess there are a few that I missed, that you can, like, break open crates for, are probably not going to be enough to take him down. Especially if it is actually an Ouroboros monster, like it kind of looks like. In which case, we would need fire. Just gonna go over here with our lockpick, which I guess is supposed to get us an axe. But it must be a pretty small axe if it fits into that drawer. Oh, it's just like a little hatchet. For some reason I was picturing a fire axe. Okay, so with the axe we can break boxes. But before we do anything else, let's just go deal with this key situation. Well, actually, let's go up here. I think there's a breakable box up here that we can get some ammo from. These ones? Well, it broke, but doesn't look like there's anything in there. That's probably this one. Ah, there we go. So now we've got a full mag for our 1911. Well, I don't know that it's a 1911, but it sure looks like one. And you can even tell it's full because it turns green. I will say that one thing Resident Evil always has been good on is real-world accuracy of its weapons. I mean, the ones that weren't, like, you know, made up. Like Leon's pistol in Resident Evil 4, which is a weird amalgamation of, like, 3 different existing handguns. And thus is a pain in the ass to recreate. Okay, we've got our handgun. We've got our informations. We have been furnished with the informations. So we just need to sprint to the back, grab the key, sprint out. And I might be able to just kick the thing into him again. Hey, buddy. No time to tango. Wow, that went swimmingly. Alright, so now that we've dealt with old Mushy Face, we can continue on our finger-pointing journey. Okay, so this one, it sounds like it has a stupid trigger, because we need to go to the attic and look at a light, and then go somewhere else. We need to go up these stairs, apparently turn the corner, and look at the light on the upper right. Except there's only a light on the left, so I don't know if it meant go through the door? It also doesn't say that anything actually... Did those respawn? It doesn't actually say that anything happens. There's really not a lot of lights up here to look at. Oh. There's a chair stuck up there. I didn't notice that before. So yeah, now that we have that key, we could just escape. Delete. But, then we wouldn't get our treasure. I don't know what light it wants me to look at. There's, like, no lights in this area. But I get the impression that some of these things that say the attic actually just mean, like, here. Well, I've looked at all the lights. Apparently we actually need to go back to the basement. And, I guess now that we've gotten both the items, the guy shouldn't respawn. I don't know, guys. I feel like even after all this effort, whatever ending I'm going to get is not going to change my mind about this demo. Again, this... I think I mentioned it before, but yeah, I know that this demo is not a section of the actual game. This is kind of its own thing. Similar to PT, which would have been not part of Silent Hills. Okay, there's a body bag down here somewhere? Didn't really have a chance to look around down it. Well, okay, there's a lot of body bags down here. Nobody gonna pop out? I think it means this one on the stretcher. That's not what I want at all. Okay, so we just finger this fella now. Okay. So, in my notes I wrote down, point finger at body bag. Might have, not remembered that there were so many down here. Maybe it's this one on the ground? Maybe I have to figure out what's going on with this light. There's a lot of maybes going to be said in this video. And it sounds like even people who have done this are not completely 100% on how to do this reliably every time. Like, some of the suggestions are just like, oh, if so-and-so the step doesn't work, watch the VHS. If it doesn't work after that, watch the VHS again. Also, look how we're holding this handgun in the shadow. Just kind of like, not held in front of us or anything, but held kind of upward and at the ready. Which, you know, obviously that's how we're looking at it here, but it looks a lot weirder in third person. Turn corner. Look at light in upper right. I don't know if we're supposed to hear like a giggle if we do this right, and then we'll know to go to the next place. But, like, yeah, there's not really a... There's not a single one of these rooms where you could say that there was a light in the upper right. Unless, does it mean this light? Is that what I was talking about? Because that's very vague, if so. I'm looking at it. Ah! Also, I guess this is a block button according to the controls. Probably doesn't help us much with Goopy. Alright, let's see if I can figure out this thing with the lights, and then maybe we'll be able to continue here. I think I'm supposed to look at this door? And there's supposed to be a giggle? Like, I'm looking. I'm not hearing no giggle. Also, that light is totally not in the upper right. again, I don't really see this being as interesting a mystery as people made it out to be when it first was in the demo. Of course, when the demo first came out, you couldn't actually solve this mystery because the celluloid object required for this wasn't in the game. So you just kind of used the dummy finger and it would do things at certain places, but wouldn't actually trigger anything. So I wonder if there were people who were disappointed when the demo finally came out and this was what you had to do to figure it out. Yeah, just walk around and do things and maybe it'll trigger and maybe it won't. Nope. So I might have to watch the VHS and then try to make this work again, because apparently that gets it to work sometimes. Did I already pick up the VHS? No, I didn't. Alright, I watched the VHS. But, hey, guess what? I might have to start over because apparently you're supposed to look at this light before going down to face the monster. So I might have, done this out of order. Yep. Oh, maybe not. I guess the VHS fixed things after all for some reason. Okay, so now, for like the third or fourth time, we need to go down to the basement and point at the body bag. This time, it'll be different. Alright. I'm glad we didn't have to do that again. Phil's tucked in tight on his cold, stiff bed. He's having sweet dreams of not being dead. Alright, and so now we need to go back to the stairs, and we need to make use of our gun. Isn't this exciting? We're solving mysteries together. Murder mysteries. And hey, you know, who would have guessed it? We need to shoot this masked, bagged woman. Oh my god, that fucking gunshot sound is so weak. Especially considering this is a 45. This thing would be pretty hella loud. Okay, so now that we did that, I think we just need to point at this door. Death by being boarded up. Stanley was told to go hide and they'd seek, but they wouldn't let him out, no matter how much he shrieked. That's kind of a weak rhyme. Alright, now what? Stand in the doorway and look at the mirror, do a quick turn, then do a quick turn back. And now we need to go to the attic and stand in the back left corner. The back left corner of which room? I don't know. I mean, at least we have something to look for. We're supposed to be looking for wires. So let's try going in here, going to the back left. Okay, I think it's this one, because we need to look at these wires. And we need to point at these wires. So I imagine this one's going to be a finicky bitch. Oh, maybe not. That was a little odd, because that one actually snapped to where it needed to point. I was kind of like here, and it was just like, nope. Okay, so I wonder if they actually changed that in this version. Marlene was so proud of her white and blue necklace, it made her feel tall, and left her quite breathless. And then she became Asphyxia. Oh, hey, ladies. This gun's so weak it can't even knock over a mannequin. Ooh. Now we can pick up each of those as its own weapon. Alright, so now we need to... Well, it says watch VHS, but I already did that, so hopefully we don't have to do it again. However, this is the step where it says if it doesn't work, watch the VHS again. And you can't skip through anything either. So we need to go to the basement and find a doll. And since I'm guessing we're not going to find a cute girl from the 50s, it's probably talking about the toy kind of doll. The kind you'd expect a creepy giggle to come from. Actually, I remember what that is. It's over here, by the key. Alright, so... This doll is supposed to giggle. You having a giggle there, mate? But if she doesn't, we gotta watch the VHS again and then come back down here. So let's go do that. Alright, I've watched the VHS again, and after a bit more digging, it sounds like this is the part that breaks for most people, and has the least amount of concise information about it. Everyone's like, no, you gotta do this. Oh no, you gotta do a 360 on the stairs and then go up and then go down. Like, apparently, one guy says, oh, you have to be crouching when you look at the doll. But the main thing that seems to come up the most is that apparently you have to see the ghost on the VHS, which I have not seen a single time, and I have no idea where she is. I know there is a ghost, and I know she shows up in a couple of spots, but whether she shows up or not is apparently very random. So you need to watch the VHS and have her appear for this to actually work. So now... Oh, I didn't even notice there's ammo there. Now I need to look up the spots that she spawns and repeatedly do the VHS until I manage to successfully spot her, which apparently will make this work. Apparently. I can't understand what the appeal of this is. I know people like solving puzzles, you know. ARGs wouldn't really be a thing if people didn't love working their way through mysteries with very little information. But as a demo for an ongoing series? Alright, let's find us a ghost woman. And then someone else says, oh no, you have to pick up the phone, otherwise the final giggle won't play. Because the phone is a whole other thing, and I guess there are a couple different messages that you can get from the phone. Which is supposed to ring? I'm pretty sure. But, this... Great. Does that mean it was successful, or does it have to ring and then I answer it? I guess people couldn't just data mine the triggers from this. So now, apparently, maybe, possibly, after answering the phone that didn't actually ring, maybe this doll thing will work. Maybe. Again, maybe. Why is there a banister there? I just noticed that, like... Careful, don't fall through the wall. You can't even keep your hand on it because it doesn't run down the stairs. So, the latest, probably not actually accurate information is that by picking up the gun and the ammo, I have canceled out this from working, and I'm supposed to hit the hooded woman painting with the hatchet, which will still trigger the giggle. I have no idea if this is accurate, but hey, I guess I'll have to replay everything we've done up to this point, including not getting hit, in order just to test this, because none of the things I've tried have made this stupid doll giggle. What a fun puzzle. Ah, boy. Alright, so I've gotten the first 4 giggles, got the attic window key without getting hit. Didn't pick up the gun this time, because apparently that's why it didn't work last time. And now we're going to see if I can get the final giggle and finally be done with this demo. Pretty sure the phone was supposed to ring. I'm just really not sure how all the guides and everything for this could be so inconsistent. Like, are the triggers for this so, like, seemingly random that nobody can agree on what they are? Because, like, every guide I've kind of gone through has had completely different things that they seem to think causes things to work or not work. But let's go down and try looking at the doll and see if it does anything. Boy howdy, I bet this dirty coin we get for doing all this is totally going to have very important value in the final game. Try looking at the doll. Try crouching and looking at the doll. Try hitting the doll, and then crouching and looking at it. Try everything. Nope, still no giggle. Ah, another guide that was inaccurate as to what exactly makes this work. That's great. Maybe I need to watch the VHS 5 more times. Alright, well, since we've gotten to this point, without, messing anything up too bad, I'm going to see if I can experiment with a few more things and see if that resolves my lack of giggle. Well, that's a little embarrassing. Turns out what I had missed is that they weren't talking about this doll. They weren't talking about this doll at all. Not even a little bit. They were talking about this one on the floor that I hadn't even noticed existed. And I just sort of cut that step out because I had seen the doll, and thus I was like, oh, okay, doll basement, it's this one, right? The super obvious one that the key is next to. And it's not. It's the one on the floor. I'm sorry, guys. This one is on me, not on the Capcom or the guide makers or anything. This one's on me. I still don't know if that would have worked last time because of the whole handgun thing, but it doesn't even matter now because we're done with that. Now we just need to go to the last murder spot in the kitchen, and we'll be able to get our stanky coin to put in a vending machine or something in the main game. However, I will say that phone was supposed to ring, I'm pretty sure. Because there are a variety of phone messages you can get. Supposedly, people seem to think it's from Ada, like Ada Wong, the spy, the super spy / thief that is kind of everywhere in Resident Evil. It feels like they really lost what they wanted to do with her in later games. It's just like, now she's super spy and she's involved in everything and she doesn't work for anyone. She's a triple-crossing agent. So the final murder is this vat of soup. I guess somebody got made into a long pork stew. Timmy did not mind the harsh light of 4 suns. Eyes require heads, and he did not have one. Is that him being cooked? Alright, so now that we've done that, we should have a room that's opened up in the escape room. Alright, those ones don't exist, just the ones that teleport. Phone's still not ringing. This door, right? Yeah, now it's all covered in blood, because it's the murder room. Yay! Okay, just a giggle. Thought a spooky ghost was going to jump out for a second. An old commemorative coin. It has something that looks like mold sticking to it. Is that like a little remnant of the molder, the thing in the basement? Oh, you can two-hand this. I wonder if that'll... It looks like a heavier attack. I was going to say, I wonder if that'll do more damage in the main game. Since I have to assume there'll probably be a few melee weapons. Alright, so now we should be able to leave, no harm, no foul. And see what the real ending is. Freedom, at last. Did we give the authorities the dummy hand? Because that probably would have helped them. Okay, so did they plant LSD on this guy because they expected him to escape? So yeah, this whole demo doesn't take place in the final game, but I wonder if this event is, you know, part of the canon. Like, oh, some guy went to this house and said all this thing, but then they didn't believe him. And that'll be like, you know, in a newspaper clipping or something in the actual game. But that's it. That's the demo. That's the real ending. So, I can't say I was a very big fan of it, but, you know, as Capcom and other people have said, like, this isn't going to be quite indicative of what the final game is going to be like, so, I mean, on the one hand, that kind of defeats the point of a demo, in my opinion, because it's like, you know, you're supposed to be giving people the idea of what the final game is going to be like. You know, like, Outlast 2's demo is probably pretty indicative of what kind of game the actual game is. This, on the other hand, is like, yeah, you know, you get a feel for how it plays, but it's not actually quite the same as the actual thing. But we'll see in, what, like 20 days or so when Resident Evil 7 comes out? Which, you know, I'm not sure if I'm excited about it, but I'll definitely play it because there's not that many horror games coming out still, and there's definitely not that many big budget horror games coming out. So, at this point, I'll kind of take what I can get, even if it's not quite what I want. But, on the other hand, we're supposed to be getting more info or maybe even a release date or something for the Resident Evil 2 remake that's also coming out this month, so that'll probably come around the same time as Resident Evil 7. So yeah, that I'm excited about. You know, I'm really curious if they are literally going to do like a, you know, like the first game's remake situation for Resident Evil 2, or if they're going to try to change it a little too much to modernize it. But yeah, that was Resident Evil 7. And I hope you guys didn't mind me being such a fuck up in this and not looking at the right doll, which I'm sure somebody was like, "No, you idiot, look down." But take care, folks. I'll first person spook with you again sometime soon.